The imposition of tariffs has historically played a significant role in international trade relations, reflecting broader economic and political dynamics. The concept of tariffs, taxes imposed by governments on imported goods, can be traced back to ancient civilizations but became particularly prominent in the context of modern states during the 19th and 20th centuries. A noteworthy example is the US-India trade relationship, which has seen various shifts influenced by domestic and global policies. After India's independence in 1947, the country adopted a protectionist economic model characterized by heavy government regulation and state control of key industries. This approach persisted for decades, with high tariffs aimed at fostering domestic production and reducing dependency on foreign goods. However, by the early 1990s, facing economic crisis, India began liberalizing its economy, embracing globalization and reducing tariffs significantly to attract foreign investment and enhance trade. As globalization progressed, the United States became increasingly engaged with India, particularly in the early 21st century. The two nations began to see each other as strategic partners, particularly in defense, technology, and trade. Trade between the US and India grew steadily, fueled by a burgeoning technology sector in India and a large, youthful population. However, tensions began to surface around trade imbalances and market access. In the late 2010s, under President Donald Trump's administration, the US adopted a more aggressive stance on trade, emphasizing the need to protect American workers and industries. This led to the implementation of tariffs on various countries, including China, and heightened scrutiny of trade practices with allies and partners. In this context, India was not exempt from trade negotiations and disputes. In 2019, President Trump announced plans to impose tariffs on a wide array of goods, including a proposed 50% tariff on Indian products. This was framed as a measure to address the trade deficit and perceived inequities in tariffs between the two nations. The announcement was met with significant backlash from Indian officials, who argued that such measures would harm bilateral relations and disrupt the growing trade partnership. The introduction of tariffs prompted discussions both domestically within the US and internationally, with critics arguing that tariffs could ultimately lead to higher prices for consumers and retaliatory measures from trading partners. India responded to the proposed tariffs by considering its own tariff increases on American goods, particularly those that were crucial for US industries, setting the stage for a potential trade war. The situation marked a turning point in US-India relations, emphasizing the complexities of global trade in an increasingly protectionist environment. The 50% tariff, if enacted, would have profound implications not only for bilateral trade but also